Parliamentary inquiry.
What is the parliamentary inquiry of the
I would
Honorable
like to
Abante?
ask the Honorable Marcoleta, is he rebuking this committee?
What is the question, Mr. Chair?
Are you rebuking this committee?
Why am I supposed to rebuke the committee? I am
You
not.
have been saying things for a while.
What?
You have been rebuking this committee.
You are saying that?
We're not blaming the Vice President on this.
I asked the
Honorable
question.
Marcoleta, we
I asked
are
the
not
question.
blaming
the right to suspend.
1 minute, 1 minute suspension is declared by the chair.
Move to suspend.
We are now confronted by the issue on confidential fund. And I wish to emphasize, ang confidential fund po ay pera ng taong bayan. And we owe it to the people to explain kung paano ito ginastos, saan ito napunta, and to be specific, sinunod po ba natin ang joint circular regulating the use of confidential fund?
At the NEP, the GAP, and the GAA for fiscal years 2023 and 2024. Further, I have even shared the drama that transpired last year regarding the confidential funds. Hence, just as we have done last year, we again leave the 2025 OVP budget to the pleasure of Congressman Martin Romualdez. I am not asking for any special treatment, nor am I asking you to uphold any tradition. There is no disrespect. All I am saying is that you have the complete freedom to do whatever you wish with the OVP budget.
Next to interpolate is the Honorable Paul Ortega.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Short manifestation lang po. Marami pa rin po tayong tanong. Parang back to the future po yung nangyari sa atin, Mr. Chair. Doon po sa budget briefings nga before. But still, we will pursue our questions, sir. Pero since hindi nga po nag-oath si ating Vice President and she left early, hindi rin po siya, malamang hindi rin po siya sasagot ng mga tanong, Mr. Chair. And ipe-pursue pa rin natin yung mga katanungan natin, Mr. Chair. That's why I will ask nga po for the support of this committee. Magsasubmit po ako ng mga tanong na nais ko pong tanungin sa Office of the Vice President saka yung mga iba't ibang ahensya po na nandito. At isasubmit ko po sa komite at aabangan po natin kung anong written na answers po ang ibibigay nila sa ating komite. Kasi may mga tanong po na galing naman po sa aming respectable districts. Hindi naman po namin alam kung paano namin sasagutin ng direkta yung mga taga-lugar namin. Marahil po, pati yung mga ibang nagtanong po dito, may mga tanong din po pag umuwi sila sa kanilang districts on how the confidential funds and how the other funds were used at kung bakit po iniiwasan yung mga tanong at kalahati po ng statement nga po kanina is puro naman po sa pamumulitika sa susunod po na eleksyon. Total, yung mga tanong naman po is previous years at hanggang sa 2024, Mr. Chair. So, I will submit to this honorable committee yung mga tanong po na gusto po nating masagot ng Office of the Vice President, ng COA at saka ng DBM, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. The next to interpolate, the chair recognizes the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, Mr. Chair, most of yung katanungan po natin, we were hoping to direct to the OVP and we were expecting that this is no longer a budget hearing. At the very least, yung mga USEC and ASEC that were requested to be here would be around. But given na wala po sila at wala rin po tayong maitanong sa OVP, siguro initial questions lang po sa COA. But I will be reserving most of my questions for probably the next hearing kapag nandito na po yung appropriate representatives.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, may tanong lang po una ako sa 500 million na confidential funds ng OVP for fiscal year 2023 po, no? Noong 2022, nag-request po ng OVP ng 500 million para sa confidential funds for GAA 2023. Is this correct po? May we ask any representative of the COA? Of the DBM pala po, mas appropriate siguro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mr. Chair.
Yusek Toledo.
Yeah,
you are
Mr. Chair.
recognized.
For 2023, there was a request for confidential fund for 500 million pesos, Mr. Chair.
And the 500 million that was requested by the OVP was approved by the DBM and was consequently also approved by the House and the Senate. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It was approved by the Congress, yes.
Mr. Chair, would the good USEC be aware po kung ano po yung justification that was propounded by the OVP to the DBM for the request of 500 million?
DBM, please continue. Kung Rog, kanino po ninyo ina-address yung
Sa
question?
DBM rin po.
Yes. Yusek
I believe
Toledo,
po,
please,
Mr. Chair, the justification of any budget proposed for the President's budget, yung NEPO, ay dumadaan sa DBM. So I think they would have they would be in the proper position to answer this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Basically, the proposed confidential fund for 2020 is the same as they used for 2022 that was approved through the release of the contingent fund, which is basically for the good governance engagement and social services projects of the Office of the Vice President, which I related earlier as far as where to use that. Basically for the safe implementation of various projects activities of the Office of the Vice President across its satellite offices. Okay, so also the conduct of its official engagements and functional representation in the international and local events. Also the implementation of various projects and activities relevant to national security and peace and order, and implementation of the same with proper security and safety protocols for the benefit of the institution, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I would agree that those would be activities precisely within the purview of the use of confidential funds. And I believe that if that was the justification given to the DBM, it would be understandable po na ito po yung talagang i-approve nila. However, Mr. Chair, in hindsight, in retrospect, which is 2020, there were actually signs already na there was confusion as to the proper use of these funds. If I recall, there's an article actually in which a certain attorney Monsayak in 2022 mentioned in justifying the program of the OVP, and actually this is something that I was supposed to ask the OVP. Pero dahil wala po sila, I will just relay what I have read, and hopefully they can just confirm it at a later time. Ang sabi po nila, sa ilalim ng good governance program ng OVP, kasama po dapat sa confidential funds usage yung libreng sakay, pagbabag o campaign, OVP food trucks, livelihood programs like Magnegosyo Taday, which should be noted is the precise program that is suffering from 0.4% utilization rate, no? And medical assistance and burial assistance. Mr. Chair, I would like to ask the DBM, had they known if kung ito po yung magiging justification for CIF request for 500 million, would in his opinion, would this have been allowed by the Secretary of the DBM? Was this within the purview of the use of confidential funds, Mr. Chair?
Yusek Toledo, please answer.
Mr. Chair, I think some of those programs or projects that were mentioned should all be good to be implemented by the other different implementing agencies. So I will leave that my answer that the confidential fund should always be related to what has been for the good governance project. Engagement and Social Services Project of the Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I agree with that. But on its face po, no, yung binanggit ni Attorney Monsayak, would this be considered yung security requirements for the implementation? Kasi po, very general lamang po ang sinabi niya eh. It just mentioned the programs itself, and I don't know if my security component po yung, for example, libreng sakay. I don't know kung may security component yung magnegosyo taday. Definitely, maybe not with the Pagbabago campaign. Medical assistance, burial assistance.
Mr. Chair, as a matter of fact, we have some sort of exclusive use for the confidential fund. Basically, if I may enumerate it, Mr. Chair, one is purchase of information for necessary for formulation and implementation of programs relevant to national security, peace, and order. Rental transportation vehicles and maintenance of safe houses used for confidential activities, purchase of rental supplies, equipment, among others, for confidential operations, payment of rewards to informers, subject, of course, to guidelines, and then uncover or prevent illegal activities that may pose danger to the agency or its personnel or property, and I guess others that may be authorized by the, of course, the General Appropriations Act and special laws.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I think, of course, I can't speak for the committee, but we can consider na parang outside of the purview of the enumerated instances, yung ginawang justification po nitong Attorney Monsayap. But this is something, I guess, that we'll pursue with a later time. Mr. Chair, may I ask po, in relation to the Good Governance Program, and I think I could ask this to the COA, if that would be okay. Is there a requirement for a physical and financial plan when it comes to the Good Governance Program? Is this a requirement when dispersing? Cut ninyo, you have irregular, unconscionable. Can you give us, I think,
COA. Kanina
Yes.
po,
But after your lengthy manifestation, you have already...
Mr. Chair.
as
Irregular.
so irregular po siya. But sorry, to enlighten us lang po, ano ba yung basis po natin? I remember it was mentioned during the budget hearing. I forgot lang yung shortcut ninyo. You have irregular, unconscionable. Can you give us, I think it was 5?
Yes, Mr. Chair, can I answer?
Yes, through the Honorable Chair, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have illegal expenditure, irregular, unnecessary, extravagant, unconscionable, and excessive.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in this case, mukhang irregular, highly irregular po yung procurement process.
Last 2 minutes.
Okay lang, Mr. Chair. I will not take up any more time. The rest of it naman po would be properly answered by the OVP. So in that case, Mr. Chair, I will yield to the other interpellators. Maraming salamat po, COA and DBM. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We will proceed to the next interpellator, the Honorable Congresswoman Luistro. Please proceed.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I wish to manifest that the refusal of Her Excellency Vice President Sara Duterte to take her oath in today's hearing in the conduct of inquiry in aid of legislation is an affirmation of her stand, her position during the budget briefing of the OVP. And this representation wishes to manifest that when the resource speaker does not take her oath, then it follows that whatever statement she will provide, we call it could not hold any water. That being not under oath, the same cannot be used as an evidence in any inquiry, in any proceeding, Mr. Chair. In other words, her refusal to answer in the last budget briefing of the OVP is tantamount to her stand in today's inquiry of refusing to take her oath. That is for manifestation, Mr. Chair. And with that, Mr. Chair, I wish to remind the committee, our esteemed colleagues, and the Filipino people of the constitutional mandate that public office is a public trust. When there is a question, we're bound to answer. We're bound to explain. As a matter of fact, no less than the Philippine Constitution provides, we are accountable to the Filipino people at all times. We are now confronted by the issue on confidential fund. And I wish to emphasize, ang confidential fund po ay pera ng taong bayan. And we owe it to the people to explain kung paano ito ginastos, saan ito napunta, and to be specific, sinunod po ba natin ang joint circular regulating the use of confidential fund. Mr. Chair, I wish to raise as well, to invoke as well, and remind our esteemed colleagues that pursuant to the separation of power, we, the Congress, is exercising the power to legislate. Under this power, we also have the power of the purse. We can amend, we can revise, we can approve, and we can disapprove the budget that was proposed to us by the executive. And I wish to remind as well that the best instrument which shows the power of the purse of the people is no less than the General Appropriations Bill, which is an embodiment of the allocation for the entire Philippine government, which is the result of the legislative process of the Congress. In other words, ang budget po ng ating bansa ay napapaloob din sa isang batas, saklaw ng kapangyarihan ng Kongreso, and that is the power to legislate. To be able to make sure that the power of the purse is properly exercised, we are granted as well by the oversight power. And that is to make sure that all our legislations, that includes the budget of the national government, the General Appropriations Act, are well complied with by our fellow public servants. And to make sure, and as a consequence of this oversight power, we have this inquiry in aid of legislation. So I just wish to remind the Filipino people, and that includes the OVP, ito po ay trabaho ng Kongreso. Busisiin ang budget. And not only that, to exercise the oversight power to make sure na yun pong ating mga nakaraang legislation that includes the General Appropriations Act ay nagamit ng tama ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno. I hope that the OVP will be enlightened to address the issues instead of attacking this institution, of politicizing and matters concerning politics, Mr. Chair. Third, Mr. Chair, we should be uniform in the application of our rules. If we are guided by the constitutional mandate that public office is a public trust, if we observe malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance in the LGUs, as a matter of fact, we have pending inquiry in aid of legislation concerning LGUs. Kung iniimbestigahan po natin ang Office of the Mayor, kung iniimbestigahan po natin ang Office of the Governor, by equality under the law, we should conduct an investigation as well to the Office of the Vice President. And I wish to thank the Honorable Valeriano for taking a stand before the plenary to initiate this inquiry in aid of legislation to address the observation not only of this representation, but of our fellow members of the Committee on Appropriations about the irregularities which we have seen already in the disbursement of fund, as a matter of fact, not only of the confidential fund, but even the regular allocation of the OVP. With that, Mr. Chair, may I proceed to my question for the COA. Kanina
Yes.
po,
But after your lengthy manifestation, you have already
Mr. Chair.
consumed 4
just
minutes.
one question,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Just
Chair,
one question.
Yes, the Honorable Marcoleta.
May I offer a counter manifestation, Mr. Chair?
Later po, 1 minute na lang po siya and then I
Kasi
will
baka
record.
makalimutan yung continuity yung flow ng discussion. I'd like to ask only, Mr. Chair, by way of manifestation, is there anybody who is questioning the power of the purse of Congress? Is there anybody who is questioning the legislative function and oversight function of Congress? Is there? Because if there is none, then we're not supposed to overextend the discussion or any manifestation because nobody is questioning that. And I think nobody could question that. Even the privileged speech of the Honorable Valeriano. I think the proper question there, the proper title is not asserting the power of the purse. We should not assert it because that power is inherent in us. Asserting or not asserting that power is of no moment. Yun po ay birthright. Yun po is inherent right of Congress. And let me make of record, the office of the Vice President, to my mind, did not undermine the power of the purse. When she personally came in the first hearing and presented herself, including the budget by way of a PowerPoint presentation, she made a presentation, Mr. Chair. And after that, she made a categorical statement that she said, I forgo, Madam Chair, I forgo my opportunity to defend the budget of the office of the President by way of question and answer, and instead I leave it to the discretion of the House of Representatives on their decision to decide on the proposal as presented. This is a very respectful answer, Mr. Chair. I did not find any offensive remark in that particular statement. She gave the entire House of Representatives the entire discretion, the entire right to decide on the proposal she presented before us. Why would we blame her for saying that she disrespected Congress? No, sir. I think it was triggered by the fact that questions were asked in relation to the confidential and intelligence funds. To my mind, Mr. Chair, these particular funds were subjected to a notice of disallowance. But the notice of disallowance by its nature, by its very nature, Mr. Chair, is contestable. It is appealable. It is yet to be explained. And initially, as explained by the representative of COA, the notice of disallowance suffered by way of supporting documents, by way of non-compliance with certain requisites. What if the Vice President is able to provide all the supporting documents? What if finally she is able to come up with the requisites required in order for you to consider that all these funds are eventually allowable and they are not disallowed? And chances are she may be able to do that. Hindi po final judgment ang notice of disallowance. As a matter of fact, based on COA's own representation the other day, the Vice President received the notice of disallowance only on August 24, 2024, which means, Mr. Chair, the Vice President has 6 months within which to reply and make an answer. That is correct, Madam COA. So, 6 months is up to February 2025. We should give her all the allowance. We should give her the time. Because 6 months is 6 months. So why are we rushing to make a judgment? As a matter of fact, as I have already initiated earlier, Mr. Chair, when you said that anything we can discuss in this committee provided it is of public interest, and you said that intelligence funds and confidential funds are public interest. But I said, because of our own rules, we should make a prior and preliminary determination that is directly and principally connected to malfeasance, misfeasance, or non-feasance. We have not made that determination. How can we now begin questioning whether or not the intelligence funds covered by an initial notice of disallowance is already directly and principally connected with non-feasance or misfeasance or malfeasance. Madam COA, how many agencies of government today are subjected to notice of disallowance? Do you have a number? How many agencies
Mr.
today?
Chair.
With all due
Mr.
respect
Point
to
of order,
the
Mr.
Before
honorable.
I,
But that is a question I will leave, and I will
Yes.
terminate
But-
my manifestation, Madam.
Yes, but I will.
I
I
believe,
would like
Mr.
to
Chair, that
respond.
this is still my time.
Yes, but I would like to respond to your manifestation, Congressman Marcoleta.
Parliamentary
Let
inquiry,
me.
Mr. Chair. Parliamentary inquiry.
What is the parliamentary inquiry of
I
the
would
Honorable
like to
Abante?
ask the Honorable Marcoleta, is he rebuking this committee?
What is the question, Mr. Chair?
Are you rebuking this committee?
Why am I supposed to rebuke the committee? I am
You
not.
have been saying things for a while.
What?
You have been rebuking this committee.
You are saying that.
We're not blaming the Vice President on this.
I asked the
Honorable
question.
Marcoleta,
I
we
asked
are
the
not
question.
blaming
You have the right to
the-
demand that.
1 minute suspension is declared by the chair.
Move to suspend.
Kilala ko naman yan. Kilala mo ako. Ang ako niya, pinapakapaligaya, pinapakapaligaya. Kaya pala, dahil siguro ko, inaablan, magdamagsisip, dito ay baala. Ako rin yung kalinod, ayaw mo yung kalinod. Dito, ang anak mo yan, pangalan na. Dahil pangalan ko daw, alam na. Nagluwag ko na, Christian, ngayon. Anong klase mo, anak mo? Lalaki. Nakulog na sisyon, nakulog na ang sisyon. Nakulog na sisyon, bago ko rin kanina. Dala ay Petri. Diba ito umaban niya ba? Ba? Nakulam na ang sisyon, nakababay na sila. Limandin ko, kung nakuha ko sa tayo. Kung nakaka sa tayo, kung nakaka sa tayo.